I remember the exact moment my reflection stopped feeling like mine. It wasn't dramatic at first. No thunder. No slow-motion gasp. Just me, standing barefoot on cold tile, staring into a bathroom mirror at a face that looked softer. Familiar, but rearranged. My jaw seemed gentler. My eyes, were they always that expressive? And my hair, brushed forward instead of back, framed everything differently, like it was trying to tell a secret before I was ready to hear it. Don't freak out, I whispered to myself, gripping the sink. It's just clothes. It's just a weekend. That's what she had said, anyway. Just a weekend. But the longer I stayed, the more I felt that quiet, terrifying thrill bloom in my chest. The kind that makes your stomach drop and your heart race at the same time. The kind that asks a dangerous question. What if this isn't pretend? It started with a favor. Doesn't it always? Lena and I had been friends for years, close enough to share late-night pizza and secrets, distant enough that I never imagined she'd be the one to upend my entire sense of self. She was bold, effortlessly confident, the kind of woman who could walk into a room and make it orbit her. Her problem was simple, she said. Her ex was coming back into town for the weekend. He'd be at the same wedding. Same hotel. Same friend group. And she refused to show up alone. I need a girlfriend, she said over coffee, eyes locked on mine. Then she smiled. Slowly. And I need it to look real. I laughed. You're joking. I'm not. I waited for the punchline. It never came. You're the only one I trust, she continued. And you already have the height. The bone structure. With the right clothes, makeup. Lena, I cut in, heat crawling up my neck. You're asking me to pretend to be my girlfriend for one weekend, she finished softly. Please. The cafe noise faded. Cups clinked somewhere far away. All I could hear was my own heartbeat, loud and insistent. I should have said no. Instead, I swallowed and asked, what exactly does look real mean? Her smile widened. By Friday night, my apartment looked like a different life had exploded inside it. Dresses hung from my closet door, silk, cotton, something dangerously short. Shoes lined the floor like a judgmental audience. Makeup covered my desk, unfamiliar and intimidating. Lena moved through it all with purpose, tossing things at me, critiquing, adjusting. Relax your shoulders, she said, standing behind me as I practiced walking in heels. You're not marching. You're gliding. I wobbled, caught myself on the dresser, laughed nervously. I feel ridiculous. You look incredible, she corrected. I met her eyes in the mirror. She wasn't teasing. There was something sincere there. Something grounding. Still, when she handed me the first outfit, a simple black dress, fitted but not revealing, my hands shook. In the bathroom, I changed slowly, methodically. Fabric slid over skin that suddenly felt too exposed, too aware. When I zipped it up and turned toward the mirror, my breath caught. The dress didn't hide me. It revealed me. My legs looked longer. My waist curved in a way I'd never noticed. And when I added the wig, soft, shoulder-length, chestnut brown, and a touch of makeup, the person staring back felt like a stranger who knew my secrets. Fear prickled under my skin. So did excitement. When I stepped out, Lena's mouth fell open. Oh, she breathed. Yeah. This is going to work. The first test was the hotel lobby. Bright lights. Marble floors. People everywhere. My heart slammed against my ribs as Lena slipped her arm through mine. Remember, she murmured, lips close to my ear. You're my girlfriend. Let them see that. I nodded, unable to trust my voice. We walked. Every step felt loud. Every glance felt like exposure. I imagined people whispering, pointing, seeing through me. My posture stiffened, breath shallow. Then a woman passed us and smiled. You two are adorable, she said casually. I froze. Lena squeezed my arm. Thank you, she replied, easy and warm. We kept walking. That didn't feel terrible, I admitted under my breath. She grinned. That's because it wasn't. The elevator ride was worse. Too close, too reflective, mirrors everywhere. I watched my own nervous smile, the way I tucked hair behind my ear without thinking. When did that become natural? At the wedding rehearsal dinner that night, conversations flowed around me like water. People asked my name, complimented my dress. One woman leaned in and whispered, "You're stunning." Each word chipped away at my fear. By the time we reached our room, my feet ached, my head spun, and I didn't want to take the dress off. Saturday morning, I woke before Lena. Sunlight filtered through the curtains, painting the room gold. I slipped quietly into the bathroom, closed the door, and stared at myself again, bare-faced this time, hair messy, still undeniably her. I traced my reflection with my eyes, heart racing. "Who are you?" I experimented slowly. Tried on a blouse. Jeans that hugged differently. Practiced my voice, softer, not fake, just adjusted. Each small change sent a spark through me. This wasn't a costume anymore. It was exploration. When Lena woke and found me perched on the edge of the bed, fully dressed, she raised an eyebrow. "Someone's eager." I didn't want to stop, I confessed. "Is that weird?" She sat beside me. "It's honest." That day, we went out. Shopping. Lunch. A walk through the city. Holding her hand in public felt surreal, terrifying and comforting all at once. People saw us as a couple. Treated us like one. And the more they did, the more something inside me settled into place. At a cafe, the barista asked, "What can I get you, ladies?" Ladies. The word echoed. I smiled and ordered without correcting him. The confrontation came sooner than I expected. At the reception that evening, her ex appeared, tall, confident, smirk ready. His eyes flicked over me, assessing. "So," he said to Lena, "this is your girlfriend?" She met his gaze. "Yes." He turned to me. "And you are?" For a split second, panic surged. Old instincts screamed to hide, to retreat, to explain. Instead, I lifted my chin. "I'm hers." The room seemed to hold its breath. He scoffed, muttered something dismissive, and walked away. My knees nearly gave out. Lena pulled me into a quiet corner. "You okay?" I nodded, tears burning. "I didn't know I could do that." "You did," she said firmly. "Because it's you." Later that night, back in the room, I finally said the thing I'd been afraid to voice. "What if I don't want this to end?" She looked at me carefully. "Then it doesn't have to." Sunday morning felt different. Lighter. Certain. I packed my bag slowly, folding dresses with care instead of haste. When I caught my reflection one last time, I didn't see confusion anymore. I saw possibility. At checkout, the clerk smiled. "Have a safe trip home." "Thank you," I said, voice steady. In the car, Lena reached over and squeezed my hand. "So, weekend girlfriend?" I smiled, feeling something solid and warm bloom in my chest. "I think I was just meeting myself." She laughed softly. "About time." I used to think authenticity was something you discovered alone, in silence. Now I know sometimes it's found in borrowed dresses, trembling steps, and the courage to say yes when everything inside you is shaking. If you're watching this and feeling that quiet pull, the curiosity, the fear, the hope, listen to it. You might be closer to yourself than you think. I thought once the weekend ended, everything would snap back into place. Like I'd wake up Monday morning, stretch, catch my reflection, and feel embarrassed, maybe even relieved, that it was all over. That I could fold the dresses away, return the borrowed confidence, and slip back into the quiet, familiar shape of my old life. But Sunday night came and went. And nothing snapped back. Instead, something inside me stayed, open. Monday morning, I stood in front of my closet longer than I ever had before. The sensible clothes hung neatly on one side, jeans, button-downs, the version of me that had always been easy to explain. On the other side, tucked just slightly out of sight, were the things I hadn't had the heart to put away properly. A soft sweater Lena insisted I keep. A skirt I bought just to remember the weekend. Flats that still carried the faint ache of learning how to walk differently. My chest tightened. This was supposed to be pretend. I reached for my usual clothes, then hesitated. The mirror watched silently as I changed my mind. I didn't go all the way, not yet. But the sweater slipped over my shoulders like it belonged there. Softer. Lighter. When I caught my reflection, something in my eyes looked awake. At work, I felt exposed even though nothing was technically different. Or maybe everything was. New sweater? My coworker Mark asked casually as we waited for the elevator. Yeah, I replied, trying to keep my voice neutral. It suits you. The doors opened, and I stepped inside with my heart racing far more than the comment deserved. Why does that matter so much? All day, I noticed things I never had before. The way I crossed my legs without thinking. How my hands moved when I spoke. How my reflection in darkened screens felt closer. Like it was leaning toward me, asking a question I wasn't ready to answer out loud. That night, Lena texted. Lena, so, how does it feel to be back? I stared at the message for a long time before replying. Me, like I left something important behind. 3 dots appeared almost instantly. Lena, then come over. Her apartment felt different this time. Less like a stage. More like a sanctuary. She didn't rush me. Didn't pull out clothes or makeup right away. We sat on the couch, knees brushing, wine untouched on the table. You don't have to perform, she said gently. Not for me. I swallowed. What if I don't know who I am without the performance? She studied me, then reached out and tucked a loose strand of hair behind my ear, a gesture so natural it made my breath hitch. Then we figure it out together. That's when I told her everything. The mirror moments. The lingering feeling. The fear that what started as pretending had unlocked something irreversible. I'm scared, I admitted, voice shaking. What if this costs me everything? She didn't dismiss it. Didn't sugarcoat it. Then we take it one step at a time, she said. You don't owe anyone answers yet. Later, when I stood in her bathroom again, makeup brush trembling in my hand, it felt different than the first time. No rush. No audience. Just exploration. When I stepped out, she smiled, not surprised, not impressed. Just proud. The second weekend was my idea. I want to try going out, I said. Not for anyone else. For me. Lena raised an eyebrow. You sure? No, I laughed nervously. But I think that means I should. This time, I chose the outfit. A flowing blouse. Skinny jeans. Shoes I could actually walk in. The look wasn't dramatic, but it felt honest. At the cafe, no one stared. Or maybe they did, and I just didn't crumble under it. A woman complimented my earrings. A server called me hun, someone held the door open and smiled. Each interaction stacked gently on the last, building something sturdy inside me. Confidence, maybe. Or permission. When we sat across from each other, Lena reached for my hand. You're glowing. I laughed, warmth spreading through my chest. I feel real. That night, as we walked home under streetlights, I realized something that made my steps slow. People weren't reacting to what I was. They were reacting to how comfortable I was becoming. The fallout came on Tuesday. My sister called. I heard something weird, she said cautiously. From a friend. About you. My stomach dropped. Okay, I said carefully. They said you were out. Like, dressed differently. With a woman. Silence stretched. I could lie. I could deflect. Instead, I closed my eyes and breathed. Yeah, I said. That was me. Another pause. Then, softer, are you okay? The question cracked something open. I'm trying to be, I replied honestly. She exhaled. I don't understand it. But I love you. And I don't want you hiding from me. Tears slid down my cheeks. It wasn't full acceptance. But it was a door. The real confrontation came at work. HR meeting. Neutral smiles. Carefully chosen words. We've noticed some changes, my manager said. And we want to ensure everyone feels comfortable. I felt my pulse in my ears. I want to be clear, I said, hands steady despite the fear. I'm still the same professional. I'm just being more honest. They exchanged looks. We'll support you, she said finally. But we'll need to communicate expectations. When I left the room, my legs trembled. But I hadn't backed down. That mattered. The first time I went out alone, I almost turned back. Standing outside the bar, heart pounding, every insecurity screamed at once. You don't belong. They'll see through you. This was a mistake. Then I remembered the mirror. The sweater. The way my reflection leaned forward instead of away. I opened the door. Inside, music pulsed softly. Laughter floated through the air. And for a moment, I was just another woman finding her place. At the bar, someone smiled and asked my name. I gave it, the one that felt right. Saying it out loud felt like stepping into sunlight. I won't pretend it's been easy. There are days I ache for simplicity, for invisibility. But there are more days now, more and more, where I catch my reflection and don't flinch. Where my shoulders relax. Where my smile isn't rehearsed. Lena and I never defined us with labels. We didn't need to. She stood beside me when I faltered, stepped back when I needed space, and never once told me who I should be. And that changed everything. If part 1 was about being forced into something unexpected, then this chapter of my life, is about choosing to stay. Choosing curiosity over fear. Truth over comfort. Myself over silence. And if you're still watching, still listening, maybe some part of you recognizes this feeling too. The one that doesn't go away after the weekend ends.